That Denetwork. That song literally came to me in a dream.
It literally did. I remember.
I had still recuperating from being run over, and my parents were letting him live in their living room, and I had to sleep in a hospital bed. So I was.
And that was your gate guard right
Yeah,
below you.
I was in bed, and he was sleeping on the floor right below me, and I started having this dream. For some reason, it was like a chalkboard. I could see a chalkboard, and I could hear music in my head, but I couldn't comprehend the tones that were in my head. But I could feel the in my dream for some reason, and I started writing on the chalkboard, and I started writing out on the chalkboard, "Unplugged, sign out alive." And after that, I woke up, and as soon as I woke up, I woke Adrian up. He was dead asleep, and I asked him for a pen and paper. He thought I was kidding with him, but I woke up and I had the first part of the verse, the words in my head, and I didn't want to forget them. And it was
The 2 lines of the first one, right?
the first 2 lines that I ended up writing down was "The real world's not real anymore. The census updates and storyboards."
There you go. Yeah.
I didn't know what I meant at the time until the next day when we woke up, and I remembered that I wrote it down, and I realized that subconsciously I was talking about social networking, and it ended up turning into this song about being cautious in social networking, and the almost self-absorbed, aspects it brings to your life sometimes when people don't realize it.
Yeah.
So I took that first part of that verse, the words, and I think maybe like that weekend I went over to his house in Kingsville, and I sat in his bedroom for like 3 hours with the guitar, and designed the entire guitar part. After we both agreed on the guitar parts, I left the rest of the lyrics up to him. And we took it from there and started becoming a full band song. It ended up becoming an awesome full band song.
Yeah, I remember that night. We got on the middle table after you woke me up. After I had to be at work at 8, and like 7:45, I believe. So, but I was happy with the song. Anything else would have been
The next episode.
uncivilized. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, the beginning part, he had the 2 lines, and I think I added the next 2 lines on there. And when he started getting the chorus down and everything, it was acoustic, and I started singing the chorus out, and I could already hear like the harmony above it, and how it sounded. It was kind of boom in your face, and I understand the whole aspect of the detaching yourself from, because sometimes that stuff gets really problematic in your life. You absorb too much into that network that starts affecting whether it be your job or your life on the outside. And I remember going to this guy's house, Phil's, and he was playing it, I guess, after we had talked about it and wanted to do it as a full band. And I'll leave that up to Phil.
Whenever they came over for practice, I believe it was on one dark and lonely Thursday evening, we had they presented the song, and we were looking at it and listening and kind of just having some ideas, and of course right away we're like, this is definitely something we need to be working with. This is a really cool riff, good idea, and that idea in particular really struck me. Because I do feel like people blind themselves from the real world, and that's partly why we wanted to come out with this song as soon as possible, so that people, although maybe not everybody listens to the lyrics, but people need to really see where this is going, kind of see the future of the internet, and be wary that we need to be opening our eyes constantly. Whenever they came to me with the song, they had that first verse, and I believe the chorus written.
I had written the chorus, but I didn't know how to sing it. so I gave him the words, and he figured out how to sing it over
Yeah.
what I really did.
And the way everything was put together was just, man, it was rocking. I really was enjoying it. And I felt like, hey, this is something I might be able to kind of help out with, obviously on drums, but you know, I just wanted to write just a few words down and maybe figure something out and help Adrian out, because he was looking at some different ideas, and I was like, well, cool, you know, maybe I can contribute or at least help steer him in the right way. And so I wrote down maybe about 6, 7, maybe 8 random lines or phrases, and was like, hey man, here's some options. Let's take a look at it. This is how I would sing it. It's not perfectly in sync with your first verse. I think it's something we could kind of mess with. What do you think? And he picked a few lines out of what I had said, and we, after it took like 2 or 3 weeks for you to kind of figure out how it fit, and together it just turned out something that really did flow. And I was really happy to have a little bit of a part of the lyrics of a song that in my mind means quite a bit to everybody, not just us, obviously. And as far as the drums go, I really love the different rhythms on the courses, where it comes in on the pre-chorus and then just kind of gets in your face, but also has a smooth feeling rhythm to it in the chorus. You know, the pre-chorus gets this way, and the chorus just brings you a little higher, and then it takes you for a ride. You know, and then once the bridge comes, you know, you can kind of move your head to it, move up and down, and then you get a rhythm right back into the chorus, where we just ride it out and are able to tell you what we're trying to say through our lyrics and the message that we're trying to convey.
I really like the idea of the song, especially the lyrics, and the bridge part / solo. There are some stops, and then it keeps going and stops again. So for that part in particular, I wanted to Rick say, hey, why don't you just play the solo for this song? So I wanted to do something different than what the whole band was doing at the time. So the whole band stopping and going, and I'm just continuously playing the solo, and it's kind of goes along with how the song is going, because it's kind of a chill beginning of the solo, and then as the whole band comes in, it picks up and takes off. So there's the solo. I think it's probably in this album, it's probably my favorite solo to play live, and the favorite solo in the album for me.
Aside from how the lyrics progressed, when these guys first presented the song to me at practice, I really didn't care for it. I thought that it was something that we could put on the back burner. But as we continued working with it, the music that Rick had written kind of started to grow on me, and I was having trouble coming up with what to write on bass. So I just started listening to Philip's kick drum, and pretty much the song just wrote itself from there.
Sounds awesome.
During the verses, I don't do anything but play note for note.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
what his kick drum is doing. And then when the chorus kicks in, Pete and Rick, they kind of chill out on the guitars. They don't play as much, and they're not making as much noise. So I kind of had some freedom to just mess around on bass, and I think I wrote a really cool technical piece that.
Yeah.
And man, it is hard for me to play most nights, but we get it done.
Done.